Let's move on and talk about the Pramzius, my baby.
See, I got when you first for those of you because I know somebody had to go, well, Craig just sent you one. No, he didn't. I
Tim
bought this. I bought this when Craig was raising funds. And one of the things, you did a lot of things really smart on this, Craig. But one of the things I love is that you have the option if somebody wants the hard mineral crystal, they can opt for that, or they can go higher end for a few more dollars and get a sapphire.
Right. Right. We wanted to have both options because some people don't care about the sapphire, and in some
Right.
ways, the K1 is even better if you're worried about shatter resistancy. That's why Igor uses that. It's Igor Zabowski, the managing director of us here. That's why he uses that with. I need to quit putting my hand in front of my face the whole time we're talking here, Tim. So I keep wanting to show the watch, but that's why Igor uses the K1 because of the fact that his watches are sport models. But we did make both options. Let me quickly explain what Pramzius is for those of you who don't know. It is a very new brand. It is our own in-house brand. It's we came up with the entire concept. It's our name. Pramzius refers to the Baltic ruler of time. The Baltic states had a pantheon of gods, mythological gods, just like the Greeks, the Romans, and other parts. I've found out since then that pretty much every part of the world had a similar pantheon of gods right around that time that were associated with different things like thunder, like time, and love, and so forth. So Pramzius is the Baltic ruler of time, and we felt like that was a good fit for us. We've been dealing with watches from Eastern Europe and Russia since we started. So all of the watches are based on some kind of an inspiration from one of the countries, of the 9 countries that touch the Baltic Sea. And again, this one actually did happen to be one that's based on something out of Russia. This is based on an old Russian pocket watch was the original inspiration for this. Now, we went a very different direction in a lot of things on this watch. It's not a copy by any means. These are watches that actually Tim is very familiar with because when we first started selling watches together, now more than a decade ago, the Molnia Pocket Watch Company was still in existence. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the brands that we do business with were using their movements in the watches. Now, unfortunately, they went out of business back in 07, 08, at some point sometime around then, which to the sadness of all of us who love their watches and love their movements and so forth, and stopped making watches. But one of the watches that they had from the very beginning was their old railroad pocket watch. And I'm going to show this now in its pocket watch version because on the back is this beautiful 3D relief.
Check this out.
And this is the same. Now, I will tell you this. This is an exact copy of that pocket watch. This is exactly the same in terms of this back here that was on the original Molnia railroad pocket watch because I just loved the image of that train. Now, what we did different, obviously, first of all, we designed this where you can wear it as a wristwatch and not just have it as a pocket watch. But because of the fact that we were building this on a pocket watch, we wanted to have both options for you. So there's actually, you can remove this bottom, I call it a lug or maybe a bow, or it's not a traditional lug in that it doesn't have spring bars holding it in there. But you can remove this bottom piece here, and then there is a little screw that goes into the hole. And that is actually there for 2 reasons. First of all, it's going to give you the smooth look of the case, so you don't have it broken up by the hole that it's created. And second of all, it protects the watch so that no debris or anything gets in there and gums up those threads especially since you're going to be using it as a pocket watch when you're not wearing it as a wristwatch.
Craig, I need to interject if I may for a second. Someone from 2 days ago says you have to move off. No, they didn't. You can keep going. Joke. Also, I do want to stop you. We haven't talked about color options.
Yes, yeah. Actually, I got to remember to do that. I got to make sure that we keep we get the basics across. Okay, so there are 3 color options. Stay on target. Stay on target. This is the Sunray Blue. Okay, so that's one color option.
Right. If anyone cares, it's the one that I've been wearing.
Right, is the antique, what I call the antique white or white, whatever you prefer. Now, this is actually a full lume dial. And if we get somebody to pull up that lume shot, Tim, it's a fantastic lume on this. So this is a full lume dial on this watch, and it has that really antique. If you want the one that's the most, like antique-y looking, mm-hmm. and the most like the original pocket watch, that would be this one. And then there is it is technically a Sunray Black, but the Sunray is so mild on this one that I just call it black. you can catch it in just the right light, and you'll see a little sun ray, but it's pretty much a slate black. So those are your 3 options.
I want to hit really quick. I got to tell you guys, this is really comfortable to wear. And given that this is a pocket watch, and Craig, I'm sure you probably want to get into this too, that because it's a pocket watch
nice
transfers, somebody might think it doesn't necessarily translate to comfort. But the way you guys balance this out on the leather is brilliant.
It is a big watch. We kept it the same size as the original pocket watch. We wanted it to be the same size. It's a 48 millimeter watch. And when you add those lugs or bows or whatever terminology you want to use for that, you've got something like 64 millimeters top to bottom. So it is a big watch. But because of the fact that we have the bund strap with the way it's designed, it really does. It looks like, I will be honest, because I've had people say when they see the wrist shots, it looks like it wouldn't wear comfortably. But
that's one of the reasons I wanted to get into that.
Yeah, it really does. I've had every customer we've ever had that picked one up, has come back and said, how amazed at how comfortable it really is. It is a big watch. This is not for people who want a small timepiece by any means. This is a big watch, but that's part of why we did what we did. We wanted to make this a really versatile timepiece. So I want to mention that there's several things that come along with this watch before we get back to more of the individual specs and the inspiration and so forth. First of all, you're going to get multiple straps. Okay, so it does come with a more traditional type leather strap as well. And again, Tim, I think you guys we sent you some still shots you might be able to cut to in the control room about stuff. So it's got these, the more traditional strap, but again, you have to unscrew it. It does come with a screwdriver for that. You have to unscrew it to put it on because it doesn't have a traditional lug. And then they also are coming with NATO straps as well. The blue has a matching, and then the white has a really thick, heavy duty. And actually, you would really call these Zulu, not NATO, because of the way the keepers are made. And really, one interesting thing on the black one, if you like the black, is it's actually leather, even though it's in the Zulu style. So you get the 3 straps, and I know you guys should have a picture of this because we're out of the stands, and I just want to mention that with those people who are ordering it right now, we're getting stands built right now, and we'll get them out as quick as we can. But I know I sent you a picture of it on the little wooden stand that comes with it because I really wanted this to be 3 watches in one. You can wear it as
Sebastian. Do we have?
You should have.
Okay. That. Yeah. Okay. I think we're going to fly. Cool.
All right. So you've got 3 watches really in one. You can have it as a pocket watch, you can wear it as a wristwatch, or you can put it on the stand. And that is actually one of the things I do like to point out about that stand. That's locally sourced. That is a 100% USA made stand. The wood is from the US. It's a cherry wood veneer. It is handmade here, actually by a friend of ours here in Connecticut who does that kind of thing. So that is a 100% made in USA product. And you can put it on there and have it like a desk clock. And I will tell you, Tim, when we were doing the Kickstarter to get this going, there were a lot of people who, they upgraded to by the way, that was previously an upgrade, and we're including it here. We talk about watches. They really wanted that stand because they like the idea of having it as a desk clock.
Well, so I was one of them.
Yeah, I wanted to make it as versatile as possible. And again, I knew there were going to be some guys who are going to be like, wow, that's a big watch on the wrist. So if it's not really for you as a wristwatch, but not, if it's for someone who doesn't really wear that big of a watch, it's a pocket watch. It's a desk clock. This has got the NH38, the open heart movement in it. We wanted to stay with the look and feel of a pocket watch, but I wanted it to be an automatic. So this is why we went with this movement with the open heart, because it was hard to source the right movement that would have had the sub-second hand like you typically do on a pocket watch. So you've got the open heart. That gives it a little bit of a different look than your typical pocket watch. This is surgical grade stainless steel. It is not titanium, even though it does look a little bit like it, because I really like that matte sandblasted look. It's just one of my personal favorites. And then, as you mentioned, and just to mention again, for the special pricing and to pick it up, you want to go to talkaboutwatches.com. And as Tim said, there's a link right below.
There's a link, guys. As we're doing our show, just hit the link. You'll go right over there. I just got that quantity update here, so I'm just going to tell you, because this could vary as we continue with the show. Right now, it looks like mineral crystal and sapphire crystal in blue are probably going first. This could change, but right now that's where it is. Followed very closely by, and this is interesting, Sapphire Crystal in black will
Oh,
probably
okay.
be the next one. So that's where it stands right now. Again, in fact, let me ask you, Craig, because that's part of the Talk About Watches shows. We really try to go direct to source on this. Quantity wise, are we looking at more in 2018? Is this it, or what's the story on that?
I, Hey, I don't know if we're going to do this. We're such a boutique brand, and let's get back to the terms talking about earlier. We're a micro brand.
Yeah.
This is our first model. We're working on the Berlin Wall. By the way, the Berlin Wall model will be on Kickstarter hopefully soon. We're hoping within the next 4 to 6 weeks to do the initial pre-orders to our regular customer base, and then to get it on Kickstarter. That is a watch that has an actual piece of the Berlin Wall.
That watch, by the way, is going to be astonishing. It's
we shot a video in Scotland that's on your site, right?
Yeah,
Tim,
yeah. You guys can check that out. And the other thing is that Craig and I, and this is still we're working on, but it looks very strong. We're hoping that Craig and I are going to be able to physically do if not outright a show, and we're going to try to do that. But if not that, we're going to be doing a report actually from the Berlin Wall in Berlin for you guys, which I think is going to be late March, thereabouts.
March.
So be sure you're on the email list. And again, follow the link. It's real easy right below us. Get on the email list. We'll keep you guys up to date because like I've talked about in some of the other promos I've done, part of what's going to set TAW apart for you guys is we are not a static site. We literally have plans to continue to go around the globe, do live shows. Craig and I, at the moment, still in the United States, but I can tell you now we have serious plans to start doing shows out of Switzerland, out of Asia. We're talking to a really cool brand out of India. There's some very cool things in the works. So, all right, so enough about that. Craig, if we could, final thoughts on this, and then let's show some other stuff.
Well, again, this is, if you want a labor of love from me and my family and the group that works with us, this is our own brand. We're very excited. We were so excited that we actually did get it funded on Kickstarter. We are more than halfway through the original quantity. I know we've included everything basically that you can get with this watch with the Talk About Watches deal. It's just, for me, this was a labor of love. One of the things as I've said to Tim, we're not trying to create a distinct type of watch with Pramzius watches. We're not trying to be dive watches. We're not trying to be pilot watches. I want every watch that Pramzius builds to be an event watch, so to speak. We won't have really so much a signature look because when you see the Berlin Wall watch, you'll see it looks radically different than this. If you didn't see that they had the same logo on it, you wouldn't know it was from the same company. We're working on a military watch right now. We're going to get back to some of that military meets elegant things that we've done with the previous brand, and that's going to have a mother of pearl, and it's going to have a whole different look. So we've got a lot of plans in the works, and we want every watch to be kind of more of an event than something in a series.